Storytime, a month with a billionaire, part 9. So, Harley is taking a sip of his alcoholic beverage and has just mid-sip told me that he has a sober living coach who is Miss Dana, who is there to control his life and basically suck the fun out of his life according to him. I'm like, okay, sir, what do you have in your mouth? Oh my God, I'm like freaking out. He goes, oh, don't worry. He goes, I don't have an alcohol addiction. He goes, I had a snow addiction. I'm like, oh, so you had a drug problem? And he was like, yes, very much so. He's like, I would wake up in the morning, do a line, go to the gym, do more lines, go to lunch, do lines, take business meetings, do lines, and it was ruining my life. And the reason that Dana doesn't think that I should drink is because I used to not be able to handle my alcohol, and whenever I would drink, it would lead to doing more shots, and then to the point where I was obliterated, and then I would want to do snow, and that's how it all happened. But it's been 3 years now, and I have it under control where I can drink safely and not want to do snow. And I was like, oh, okay, so then why do you need to hide it from her? And he was like, well, as a sober living coach, she just really feels like I should abstain from everything. And I was like, well, do you feel like you need to? And he was like, no, I think I'm fine. And I was like, so do you think that your addiction and everything is under control? Like, do you feel like you don't spiral and stuff? And he was like, yeah, actually, I'm like doing really well, it feels like. And the cycle would go, I would go on a bender of just doing snow and snow and snow. This was right after his divorce to his first wife. He went on a bender and wasn't sure like what he was doing because he caught his wife again cheating with his friend. And his sister made him check into a rehab house. So the retreat that he was actually in with the cousin of the tequila agave spirits man was actually a fellow patient at this rehab, this very bougie, expensive rehab that Harley was at. So the timeline goes, Harley was married in his early 20s. They got a divorce. After that, he went on benders. He had a raging snow addiction for many, many years to where it was ruining his relationships, it was ruining his business. And then he got with his ex-girlfriend who was really, really wanting a baby with him, but he did not want to have a baby. His dad gets Alzheimer's, which thank you for everyone correcting me. I hope that I'm saying it right now. His sister is not going to take over the business, so he needs to take over the business. He ends up going to rehab. There he gets clean and decides that he is able to live his life and be an independent man now. The day he checks out, the rehab is like, hey, we don't know if you're fully able to go and be functional in life, so we want this sober living coach. We suggest that she comes and lives with you, keeps you in check, make sure that you don't go back into snow, and make sure you stay on your life because you are now dealing with your dad's will and testament and his life and businesses and all this stuff. So basically, this is like a upcharge that they offer to where they're like, hey, take this person that we want to live with you and have this person live with you to keep you in line, to keep your life in line, and basically be like your life coach, your mentor, your sober living coach, your bestie, your assistant, and run your frickin' life. I'm like, okay, so is this like optional, right? And he was like, well, yeah, but they make it seem like you're in dire straits if you don't have them. And he's like, I really don't actually want her here anymore. And I'm like, okay, so send her ass home. Send her ass to wherever she comes from. And he was like, well, every time I try to be like, hey, I think I'm doing well, she always tells me like, actually, I still am really worried about you because you need to be at this certain point before we can release you into the world. I'm like, but Harley, it's your life. And if you feel truly like you can let her go, then you can let her go. And he was like, yeah, I mean, $1,300 a day ain't cheap. I nearly spit out my sake, y'all. I was like, this woman is getting paid $1,300 a day to live in this mansion in Encino, drive your cars, go out to eat with you, eat your food, and all she does is make sure that you wake up, work out, don't do snow. Like, I can do that. And he was like, yeah, well, apparently every time I try to bring up the subject of letting her go, she always tells me that she really needs me here. I'm like, yeah, for $1,300 a day, I would be trying to have job security as well, sir. And he starts laughing. And we're just kind of like giggling and chatting more. And I'm really getting to know this man. And I really am seeing that he's just drinking and having fun. And I believe him when he's telling me that he really thinks he's okay. At the end of the day, I've been around addicts, I've dated addicts, and I understand that everything is on their own time. It really seems like he has turned his life around. I was like, okay, let's talk a little bit more about the RSD. And he was like, yes, I've had this since I was a child. I have always grown up being told yes on every single occasion from my family because we grew up very wealthy. But when it came to love and emotional love, I was not allowed that from my father. And even though my mom tried to love me a lot, you know, she did pass when I was young. And so being denied any sort of emotional love and everything was really difficult because my ex-wife was the same. He's like, she was not an affectionate woman. She did not want to show me the love in the ways that I wanted to. and it just really felt like I was always seeking something more. So whenever I feel like a female is rejecting me, it feels very much like a shot in the chest. I've been in therapy for years. I've seen psychiatrists. Like, I'm on a ton of medication for my depression and my anxiety and my PTSD. And I was like, oh, PTSD. And he was like, yeah, well, something really messed up happened to me, which is why I really started heavily using the snow. And I'm like, okay, well, what happened? And as he's about to tell me, he just kind of like reaches over and just like smooths out my hair. And he was like, you know, I haven't been able to be this open with anyone in a very long time, and it feels really nice. And I was like, oh, good. Like, I'm glad that you feel comfortable with me. And he was like, yeah, I do. And he just like leans over and kisses me. And I'm like, okay. We kiss, and we're mid-kiss. And I just literally, after maybe like 5 minutes of making out, I hear, uh-oh, mommy's awake. We pull apart, we look over, and it's Dana. Y'all, she looked like a scary scene out of Mrs. Doubtfire. You know that scene where Mrs. Doubtfire, where Robin Williams is trying to hide his face because the inspector lady comes and he puts his face in the pie and he's like, oh, hello. Like, she literally looked like that. She had a face mask on and she was wearing a white robe and her hair was clipped up and she looked scary as hell. And we were like, ah! And she was like, what's going on here? We're giggling. We're like, uh-oh. And I'm like, mommy's awake. Harley's like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And Dana walks over and she goes, oh, so we're drinking, are we? Harley was like, relax. We're just having a good time. Like, I am not about to spiral. I don't want snow. Like, we're fine. She looks at me, and she's looking at me like I am the instigator from hell. I'm like, okay, this man is the one that brought out the sake, okay? Like, I was just sitting here minding my own business, eating my king crab roll, and this was presented to me, so I just leaned into the Lord. Like, don't look at me, lady. Like, he is a grown-ass man that can make his own decisions, you know? She's like, Harley, I don't like this behavior. And he's like, relax. Her and I were just having a good time. We're about to go to bed now. I am not on the brink of spiraling. I'm good. And she's like, fine. She's like, well, I just came down to get water, and I'm going back upstairs. But Harley, you really should go to bed soon since we have an early day. He's like, yes, mom. She goes upstairs. I was like, oopsie, sorry, I got you in trouble, or we got each other in trouble. And he was like, you know, I haven't laughed like this or been able to feel like I can be open with someone like this in a very long time. And I was like, oh, Miss Dana don't make you laugh with her hovering? And he was like, no. He was like, she's a fucking ball buster and she's a mood killer. The only time where I can breathe and actually relax is when she goes to Chicago to hang out with her family. And I was like, look, Harley, we just met and I don't want to overstep my boundaries, but we really should revisit this whole idea of maybe sending her away if you think that you are doing okay. I was like, it's been 3 years. I mean, don't you want a little bit more independence in your life to where you can take care of yourself? Because she really is doing everything for you. He was like, yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about, but, you know, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, okay. He puts everything away in the dishes, and we walk up to the second floor, and he stops at the second floor. And he just, like, grabs my arms and, like, pulls me in to kiss me again. I'm like, whoa, okay, forceful, but all right. He pulls me away, and he was like, hey, can we sleep together tonight? And I was like, what? And he's like, no, not like sleep together, sleep together. He was like, can we just fall asleep together? I really want to snuggle. It would bring me a lot of comfort. I was looking at this man, and I was like, okay, now y'all. I am a very big advocate, like I've told you all the time, that you only ever do anything that you're comfortable with. If you're in a situation like this, where you're staying with a man or a man's doing something for you, you never have to feel obligated to do anything, obviously. I did feel comfortable at that point, and I felt like I did want to snuggle with this man. I did want to show him some affection because I was feeling very connected to him in that moment. And so I decided to. But if I didn't want to, I would not have done that. So if you're ever in a situation like this and you don't want to, don't do it, babies. You are owed your autonomy no matter what a man is doing for you. You do not owe him your body just because he is doing things for you. So he goes over, he does his little retina scan to open the bank vault into his room. It opens up. The room is huge. You walk in, there's a fireplace, there's couches. He's got 2 walk-in closets. So there's like one and then there's like another one big in the back. And there's a huge ass bathroom with a huge walk-in shower that has 6 nozzles that you could fit like a party of 10 in there, okay? 2 toilets, his and her matching bathroom sets, his big ass bed, and 2 full ass patio views on either side with patio furniture on both. One that looks out the front of the house and another that looks out the back of the house. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for bed and then I'm gonna meet you in here. He was like, great. I go get ready for bed, I come back in, and I'm wearing literally like full ass pajamas. I usually sleep naked, y'all, but obviously because this was going to be just a snuggle sesh, and I told him that if I felt uncomfortable at any point I was gonna leave, and he said yes. So I was wearing my full-ass pajama suit of armor. I was wearing a long-sleeve t-shirt and pajama pants. I get in the bed. He was like, okay, I need to get suited up for bed. I'm like, suited up? And he was like, yeah. And he was just in his boxers, and he put on headphones and an eye mask. He goes, okay, good night. I'm like, okay. He turns back over. He lifts one of his things and he goes, oh, by the way, I like being the little spoon. I'm like, okay. I roll over and I'm like spooning this man. We fall asleep. I wake up in the middle of the night to feel someone thrashing next to me and whimpering very loudly. I am like disoriented. And you know how sometimes when you fall asleep in a place that you're not used to, you kind of like are like, wait, where am I? I like wake up. I'm like, where the hell am I? I look around. The room is pitch ass black because he does have a little button that he presses to make all the windows go down, obviously, and the bank vault is closed. And I look over and I just see this man shaking and sweating next to me, whimpering, going like, I'm like shaking him and he goes, no, no. I was like, oh my God, this man is having a full ass night terror right next to me and thrashing about, y'all. First time sleeping next to him after he wanted me to big spoon his ass. So next episode, y'all, am I the one that calms this man down or do I need to call Dana? He takes me to the Real, and the reason he was taking me to the Real, y'all, is because I am a vintage designer girly, and I told him that when I met him, and I love luxury items. I try to buy vintage or secondhand as much as possible. He was like, great. He was like, I can take you to the Real. If you don't find what you're looking for there, then we can go to the stores. So that's what we did the next day. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I love you, and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.